Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom Coleman and today I want to talk to you about cold calling and why so many people actually struggle with cold calling. Now, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail of this video, the best way to cold call is not to actually cold call. So what do I actually mean by this? The reason cold calling is so difficult is because it is so cold. The colder the lead is, the harder that call will be. So in order to overcome that, we need to narrow the leads down by effectively prospecting them to make the call a lot easier. And there's several ways we can do that. What the problem is people create their list of businesses and they go through them one by one and they know nothing about that business. They know nothing about the owner. They don't even know if they need any Facebook marketing services or any other digital marketing services. And they're just slowly going through that list and wondering why business after business is just not interested in what they're offering. And the reason for that is, as we said, because that is the precise definition of cold calling. It's just too cold, and that's why you're not converting any of those businesses. So if we look further into it, to cold call effectively, as I've just said, don't just go out there and make one big list of businesses that you know nothing about. You can warm those leads up by making touch points with them first to reach out, find out about their business, find out about the owners. This can be via an email, a Facebook message. You can connect with them on LinkedIn. Start to learn about them and start to build that relationship. And even before that point, you should be prospecting properly. So you need to look into everything about that business. Who owns it? How long have they been going? What marketing are they currently doing? Perhaps they're doing traditional types of marketing, but not digital marketing. And do they actually need your service? What you're offering, will it actually benefit them? Because at the end of the day, if it's not going to benefit them, then you're not going to get anywhere with them. Even if you do finally sign them up as a client, if they don't actually need your service, you're not going to keep them as a client for very long. So what I mean by prospecting the businesses and then connecting with them is we're trying to narrow the odds down by finding appropriate businesses. So we can look at, are they currently running ads? Perhaps they're running ads such as Google, but they're not running Facebook ads. Do they have a pixel on their website? There's so many businesses out there that are running Facebook ads, but they don't even have a pixel. So therefore, they're not able to retarget. If it's an e-com store, they're not targeting a cart abandonment and all of this sort of stuff. So this all helps you build up a picture of that business, which will help you build that relationship and then sell your services later down the line. Another big one is, are they advertising for social media positions? So by going onto Google or their website, are they actually advertising for in-house digital marketing positions? So if they are, you know they're aware of digital marketing and they know they need to start doing it. So that's half of the battle already won, because they've almost warmed themselves up because they're aware of the situation and now they're looking for somebody. So you can then hop on a call with them and say to them, rather than bringing somebody in-house, have you thought about working with an external agency? And you can go down that road. And another very important point is, do they have the budget? When I first started, I was speaking to businesses and I didn't even think about whether they actually had the budget to cover ad spend and my services. And in particular, I remember talking to one business, and when I suggested he started ad spend at just £10 a day, he was horrified. The thought of spending £10 a day, and he said they didn't actually have the budget to do that. So I should have prospected that lead much better in the first place, and I wouldn't have wasted my time then, because that's all I was effectively doing, was wasting my time on a business that couldn't even spend £10 a day, let alone my service charge on top of that. So that's a very important point. Can you actually provide results? And you need to be honest with yourself. When you're reaching out to these businesses in certain industries, If you can actually provide results, then don't go there in the first place. If you know nothing about the niche they're in, for example, if you haven't done the research, then there's no point in even starting. And as I touched on earlier, it's about building trust. Too many people, they hop on the call and within the first 20 seconds, they're trying to sell their services. This person knows nothing about you. They've never heard of you. You don't know them because you haven't done your research. You know nothing about your business, but all of a sudden you're trying to sell a service for thousands of pounds to them. It just doesn't work, and it never will. You have to build that trust, get to know them, talk about their business. And like I say, this doesn't have to be on the call itself. This could be beforehand via email, connecting on LinkedIn, Facebook Messenger, this sort of thing. So you can start to build that relationship up, and that will make it much, much easier to sell to them later on down the line. So in conclusion to this, the key points you need to remember when cold calling is not to cold call. You don't want that call to be cold. A warmer call, because you've done your research and you've looked into everything, will be much, much easier. And you'll find you won't have to call 100, 200, 300 businesses to get a meeting. That number of businesses that you're reaching out to will significantly decline because you've done your research to warm those leads up. So you need to create a list of businesses that need your services and that you've already prospected and you've looked into, and you know that that would be a good business to call. Please do not just cold call businesses that you know nothing about. You found them 5 minutes ago on Google, you've just hopped straight on the phone and called them, because that just will not work. And like I say, once you get on the phone, don't just go straight in for the sale. Build that relationship up, gain the trust, do the research on the company, and then move forward for the sale. The sale should be a natural process. If you're finding you're having to force that sale on the call itself, then that's the mistake you're making. As you build that relationship and start to speak to them and tell them, I've seen this on your website, I've noticed this on your Facebook page, I can see that you've been trading for 10 years now. As you start to say things like this, it also puts you in a point of authority, because you know what you're talking about. So instantly that business owner knows you've done your homework. He knows you know what you're talking about, and therefore he's going to think you're trustworthy. That's what you're trying to do at the end of the day. Gain the trust and then sell to them later down the line. Now there's a few points. If we go back to, where was it? This point here, are they advertising for social media positions? This is actually a very, very powerful way of gaining new clients. And I'm going to do a separate video on this itself. So look out for that. That'll probably be the next video I do. So that concludes this video on cold calling. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Ready for the next video to help you scale your agency. Thanks, guys.